To the bottom right of the map, we have our Terran player. He starts for the TSL team, and his ID is
TSL Port.
Great Terran player, but he's up against the Code as champion of Season 3.
Starting to the top left in the blue, starting for GIM. We have the champion. He is
LGIM Seed.
Now, on this map, I expect actually aggressive play from Polt. It's a two-player map. This is a map where Polt has been known to go factory play, as well as 2 racks with his second barracks at his natural. I think something like that would be pretty, you know, not surprising at all to see from him.
And, well, Polt against Protoss just in general. Of course, in the WCS grid so far, he have faced one of them. He faced Tails, who started for Team MVP. But Tails was not a match for Polt. He looked a little bit shaky in the matchup. On the other hand, we had a couple of other plays in the just recent past where Polt didn't look that strong against Protoss. The one match against Killer comes to mind at one of the IEM qualifiers. In general, though, Polt with a pretty decent ratio in this matchup. A 67% win ratio just shows that the TSL Terran is really strong here, and historically speaking, it's actually his best matchup.
And now Seed is going to come up here, and he's going to see not only the gas, but also the barracks. Polt has put his barracks back here because he wants to make an add-on that the Seed cannot send his probe up to C, which kind of indicates he wants to get a fast add-on, potentially a quick tech lab, but because Seed has scouted so early, he's going to have to get the Marine first and chase the probe away, because he doesn't want to reveal what his strategy is. But, you know, as predicted, he is going for some sort of tech build here. Will it be 2 racks? Will it be factory? That is something we're going to find out as soon as the probe is chased away.
Of course, Polt wants to get some scouting information now of his own, already sent the SCV out here to the top left. And Seed is done for now with a probe. And we talked a little bit about Polt's statistic in this matchup, but just talking a bit about the recent match history of Seed. This is the guy who was not only able to take down Gumiho, we talked about it earlier. He's the only human being alive right now that is apparently able to best Tasia. So he was able to win against Tasia, against Björn, and against Keen, for example. There's just no Terran player in the world that is safe from this guy.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, I guess you're right. That's what it's starting to look like. By the way, Polt, with a Reaper expand here, will likely follow this up with Marauder production, but Seed is putting a forward pylon down here. Now, this could be for multiple reasons. It may be just to trick Polt, because Polt's SCV does not see any additional pylons. This may make him a little bit nervous about the possibility of a proxy. With only 1 gateway, and with his probe going home, it looks like this is just going to be for future warp-ins and dropship spotting, and he's just going to add a Nexus now.
The one thing, by the way, that also is really characteristic for Seed these days are his celebrations. He kind of took over the scepter from Ace.
Yeah.
I mean, Ace stopped his celebrations, Keen kind of stopped doing them as well, and now it's just Seed, and every single time he finds another drink that suits his opponent.
Yeah, I don't know what he would drink for Polt, man.
Yeah, I have no idea, but we might find out.
I guess so. Polt is going to get very, he's going to get very important information with this Reaper. He pops in here, he sees the Nexus timing, and now all of his fears are allayed. He's like, okay, everything is as I expected. He's even going to be able to get in the main base here and see double gates before Robo, meaning he knows the Observer's not going to see what he's up to for quite some time. Even going to get a probe kill here. Oh, Force Field traps him in, and no second probe.
Yeah, it was really close. I mean, the second probe would have been so worth it, but at this point he was at least able to not only gain the scouting information, but take down one of the workers, force a force field out. So, a fair trade, got everything that he needed, has the information of what exactly is going on, and Seed is now adding the double gates here. Of course, he needs the robotics pretty soon to make sure that he can scout Polt's main base, but for now, oh, actually, he skips the robotics for now and starts with the delayed robo, goes into Twilight first.
Yeah, Twilight first may indicate he wants to do some 2-base flank aggression with the fast 4 gases he has that'll allow him to make a lot more stalkers. This is a great map for blink stalker aggression, whether it's at the ramp or, you know, at the ramp and at the natural. Though, as you mentioned, he will have to get that delayed robotics in order to use this fully, because he will need the vision of the Observer in order to continue that harassment.
Yeah, it's just 2 things that you definitely want as a Protoss player. You want to know what exactly your opponent is up to, and you're a little bit limited in the early mid-game when it comes down to your scouting abilities. You need to either have an Observer or you Dark Shrine play.
This is not what I expected. This is an older way of playing this. Normally, people these days only do the Dark Shrine build where you get it before Nexus and then use the DTs to defend and harass a little bit. Getting it delayed, though, may throw Polt off a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, to finish my thought from earlier, as a Protoss in the early mid game, you either have to rely on an early observer or you have to rely on hallucination. And usually what you want is to get the robotics out so that you not only have a look of what exactly is going on into your opponent's main base, but you also want to be safe against Banshee play. And these days we see a lot of delayed Banshees by Terran player, also against Protoss, so this is always a bit of a risk. There's the robotics bay right now, the facility. And yeah, this Dark Shrine play is definitely pretty interesting, and it's going to be important if Polt is getting the near bay right now. But what does he scout? Does he scout this? Does he scan his opponent's main base? Does he build the missile turret? Or will he have to rely on his energy on the 2 command centers first?
Yeah, that's going to be very important. Right now we see neither the Twilight Council nor the Dark Shrine, but he's getting an eBay safely at his natural just to be careful here.
And the missile turret.
Yeah, this is going to be... yeah, exactly. That's what I meant to say. And
oh, yeah, sorry.
I said he's getting an eBay. That would be pretty stupid, but he like built an eBay. He's like, well, they'll see it.
You're actually right. He got the eBay.
He did get the eBay.
Just literally.
By the way, 3 DTs being warped in.
Really
and actually, yeah, I mean, with these 3, he may be able to get one to run by, but meanwhile, he's forced to warp in additional sentries, most likely, to hold off this push. Here we go. The DTs, they just run by, and there's no additional turret.
Yeah, now one is here in the back, but he can use a scan. He has the energy for a scan. And of course, he's just trying to draw the Dark Templar with just pulling the SCVs back into the range of the missile turret. And here's the scan. At this point, Polt knows exactly what's going on, and this was definitely not worth it for Seed.
Yeah, it was absolutely not. I mean, the Dark Shrine may become useful later to deter drops, for example, but for right now, that's a huge investment. Now, his double forges that are coming up are delayed, his upgrades are delayed as a result. He's even getting a robotic support bay, but he can still do these little things like poke at these Marauders, try to force more scans out.
I mean, the Dark Shrine, as you already pointed out, is not completely useless. For once, he has a Warp Prism, so now he can start to try to warp in his opponent's main base and then draw out additional scans. But he also has a bit more of map control. He can control the Zanaga watchtowers much better. He can poke and see if there's a third base. All these little things that just add up. But it's a huge investment into gas, and that did not really pay off for Seed so far. Polt knows exactly what's coming, he didn't lose anything to it, so now he can prepare, he can gather up energy on his 2 command centers if he wants to. Yeah. This is a pretty good position for Polt, but here comes the Warp Prism now into the main base.
Yeah, he's got about 3 scans saved up right now, but he wants to use those offensively to attack his opponent, and he's not going to be able to do so. He's going to have to use at least one of them defensively here, and another DT can be warped in. He's sending the Warp Prism back in for a second pass. He needs to start that eBay, or rather, I keep saying that, but turret, and in fact he does.
I actually expected this turret in the mineral line a little bit earlier than he actually did it. Here comes the scan, it reveals the DT. Oh, actually it didn't, or did it?
He just wanted to kill the observer in the main, and
yeah, he kills the DT. There was a DT at the front, and he took him down. It was just in range. For a second, I actually thought that I saw something like shimmering in Polt's vision, and I thought it was still the DT, but no.
That was sick, by the way. Forced the scan and then canceled the DT by making his Warp Prism go back into transport mode. That means that was essentially a wasted scan by Polt. Wasn't able to kill anything with that, and no resources lost for Seed. Polt very aggressively trying to attack here, not only poking at the ramp, but now sending 2 dropships, elevating them into the main base. Seed's gonna have to force field again and then bring his Zealots and Stalkers into the main.
Oh, nice force fields here. A few of them die. He needs to make sure that the rest of the Marines is able to escape. He's trying to save them. Commander Polt here doing a good job, really caring about his man.
Yeah. And Seed checks for the 3rd base with the Zealot here. He will be very happy to see that there is no command center landed, as his Nexus is a little bit late.
But this is a pretty cool position to be in right now. Only the Harvesters that Polt lost so far. There were 6 in total. It's not too much. The Harvester count is at 54 to 53 at this point. And of course, with the extra mules, Polt a little bit ahead in economy right now. But Seed is doing a good job when it comes down to his tech. He's now going for Blink, he is going for Extended Thermal Lance. But he has to be very careful, because Polt seems to be a step ahead of him. He has these upgrades. He's a bit behind in the overall upgrades, but already prepared for the Warp Prism that comes in again with the missile turrets, and the Marauders are on the move.
Yeah, he warps in actually a Zealot rather than warping in the Dark Templar, and now with the Vikings here, Warp Prism is going to be toast. No way to escape. Too much firepower there.
And the Vikings will also help him against the Colossi, so he has exactly the unit composition that he needs. Of course, as soon as he takes the 3rd base, a Ghost Academy would be pretty cool for him in order to make sure that he can use the EMPs later on too.
Yeah, he's killed the pylon to the left side, which means no more warp-ins of Zealots or DTs for harassment. factory will die here, but Polt, actually, did he start the armor yet? No, he did not. So this is actually really important. Oh, he just barely got it in time.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I mentioned earlier. If you just compare the upgrades of the two players, then Seed is really ahead. He's already on 1-1, they're getting +2/+2. So if it comes down to the upgrades, Polt will probably never be able to catch up, at least not if Seed is paying attention to his upgrade count.
Yeah, and so far he is chrono boosting quite heavily on those upgrades. He's getting charged now out for his Zealots, and he's delayed his third base so carefully here, but this is kind of becoming a liability as Polt now has his third command center finishing up. He's got SCV sent over there already. Templar Archive switch is on the way for Seed, and his Nexus is spotted by Polt.
And the thing is that Seed is actually getting a lot of tech here on only 2 bases. With the 4 gas that he has, this is a little bit much, getting the Templar Archive as well. If he really wants to research Storm and get high Templars into the map, he needs this third base. This is exactly why he takes it now. He wants to secure it. But Polt is a step ahead of him in economy.
Yeah, he's already got that base mining. No gas is there yet, but as a Terran, you know, your gas is already starting to stack up a little bit. You can see he's at 900 gas right now. That's going to be dumped a lot of it into Ghost as soon as he gets that Ghost Academy up. 3 more barracks coming out as well. And Seed is behind in economy, which means he does kind of have a bit of a need to do some sort of poking, do some sort of harassment here. There's a quadruple drop going towards his main where he has no defense. He may lose his robotic support bay as he's way out of position on the map.
And here is the drop, and he warps in a couple of units, but that is not enough, not by a long shot.
And his Nexus is going to have to be cancelled because he 1-8 into his main. He has no units to defend his third. Polt out multitasking him here a little bit.
Really well done, and Polt has to move back. There is Blink is ready, but there's just no Stalkers in position that could blink in and take down the Medivacs. Really well played here by Polt. These 2-prong attacks really do damage, and this is the style that annoys so many Protoss players. Terrans just trying to create a diversion and then stimming in with another part of their army, taking down a Nexus and retreating immediately.
Yeah, and C just really struggled to deal with that. Now he's extremely behind. He may be ahead in upgrades still with 3-3 coming out, but Polt has absolute control of this game right now. It's his game to lose practically.
Polt is getting the Ghost Academy now, so as soon as he also has the snipers in there, the Ghost with the snipe and the EMPs, the Templars will be in trouble. But so far, Seed is still trying to take this game with his supply. He's not looking too bad, but of course, the longer the game lasts now, the more Seed will fall behind if he can't rely on a 3-base economy.
As far as, you know, hotkeys go, I did say that Seed 1-8 into the main, and he literally did. He only has 2 hotkeys for his units, 1 group with everything, 1 group with this high Templar in it, which is going to be great for storms and things like this, but he needs to make sure he splits his army because, again, we have the quadruple drop here. He's got Zealots in his main base this time, but he 1-8s his army back in again. He's going to need to defend that third as Polt is not only going there, but he's going for the third Nexus again. He actually will be able to force a cancel if he commits.
And at the same time, this base defense by Seed was not too shabby either. He was able to storm and Polt trying to lift the units into the medivacs to make sure that the storm doesn't do too much damage. But now he has to be careful. This is a lot of stuff that he has to pay attention to at the same time.
Yeah.
The force field's cutting off a huge chunk of his army, and he's trying to run away here, but Seed's army is chasing him. This is the main army of the Protoss.
Exactly, and this Protoss army is very heavily upgraded right now. The upgrades were 2-2 versus 1-1 for Polt. Polt's 2-2 just now finishing, but 3-3 is about to finish for Seed. Polt in a lot of trouble here. He's down about 20 supply in army, and Seed is not hesitating. He's going for the attack, and all the base defense is really starting to add up in how much army Polt has lost.
Another Colossus die, and Polt just a little bit too drawn out with his forces. Now he's losing the medivacs.
Yeah,
they are just moving back, and he just does not have enough to hold this off. Another storm hits home, and the second one is spot on. Wow.
Polt